All right. Hi. Um, this is probably the fourth video I've made trying to do this. Um, it's been very difficult and I'm starting to get pretty frustrated because I have really lost all sense of how to use my language. I'm sitting in my front yard. There's the dog. I'm gonna flip this around. Can I flip this around so that you can see it? No, I'm just gonna flip it. You can see there's Lennox. Yay, Lennox. What a good dog. Yeah. It's like a little fawn in a meadow. Sweet. Anyway, okay. I have been Lennox, it's just the shininess on the thing. Just chill out. All right. So in my front yard, trying to figure out how to say an appropriate thank you to everyone who helped get me back home, who helped fix me when I was broken, and who helped keep me sane while I was in Singapore, and those who are helping me stay sane as I sort of transition back into being in New York City. So I thought of a lot of different things. I was like, okay, I'm gonna throw a party. I'm going to throw this big barbecue and I'm gonna invite everybody over and cheers everybody, and then I thought, okay, I'm just gonna write everybody a thank you card and send out the thank you cards. And then I thought, okay, maybe if I just call everybody and say thank you, that will be enough. But it didn't really, none of that really struck me as enough. It all just seemed a little not enough. And the only thing I can think of to really say thank you is to share with you what I've learned. Because knowledge is power, right? And perspective is valuable. And so instead of doing something that might get thrown away or something that could be forgotten, and this is probably going to be forgotten, I have no delusions about that, but here we go. I'm going to share with you what I've learned and hope that my experience will help somebody else to see how they can better their lives, how they can better their lives, or just give some insight into their lives. So here's what I learned. I learned to say thank you all the time. Case in point, say thank you. Say thank you. Just say thank you for everything, all the time. Say it too much, to a point where people are like, yeah, I get it, you are grateful. How terrible would that be for someone to actually understand that you're grateful for their time, for their energy, for their services, for their advice, or for just anything. Like, say thank you. The next thing I learned is to look at somebody in the eye when you're talking to them. It's really important to zero in on someone's eyeballs and say and acknowledge that you are indeed focused on what they're saying and focused on them. You know, put your phone away. Put it in your purse. Put your phone in your purse and don't take that fucking phone out until you guys are done. Spend the time with the people that you're in front of and not the people that you're not in front of. It's hard. It's hard to do. I know. We all have those situations where, especially as actors, we have to be ready for that phone call. We have to be ready to check our email or check our texts or whatever. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's really, time is more important when it's not divided. So stop looking at your phone and focus on the people that you're in front of. And look at them when they're talking to you. See, you know, you'll also see people's intentions. You'll kind of understand more of what they're saying if you're actually looking at them. So I learned that. The other thing I learned was to, what did I learn? Say thank you, to let go of all of your shit. I learned to let go of all of the stuff. If you've already read it, let it go. If you've already worn it till there are holes in it, let it go. If you've not picked it up for months or years, let it go. The more stuff you have, the more energy is being sucked out of you and put into that stuff. So let it go. Just have the stuff that you need and the stuff that you use all the time, and let all the other stuff go. And don't put it into a storage facility. Really let it go, because then all the energy is in the storage facility. Just let it go. You don't need it. You know, I was over there with a suitcase and a carry-on and a guitar, and I didn't miss any of the stuff I had here. And if you've ever been to my apartment, you know I have too much stuff. You walk in and you're like, oh, it's so homey. But really, it's really fucking cluttered and crowded. So I'm letting it all go. And it's weird and hard and, you know, definitely not easy, but it's easier now. And I really hope that everybody kind of adopts this advice and just lets it go. Okay, so the other thing I learned was to, and this is kind of difficult, it's to stop being afraid to tell the people that you care about how you feel about them. And that goes without saying that if you love someone, you should tell them. But also, if you just kind of like somebody, you should kind of just tell them. It's really uncomfortable, and it puts you in a place of vulnerability, which is really uncomfortable because you have no control over someone else's feelings, and there is a chance that they don't like you back, or they don't love you back, or they do not feel the same way, or they're probably just really fucking annoyed with you. But at least you're giving them the chance to do something with the information, or not do anything with it, but you're giving them the chance to do it, you know? What if they like you and you just haven't said it and they don't want to say it? Somebody has to make the first move or your chance is gone. So just say it. It really does get easier. You know, if you make a habit of telling people how much you appreciate them and how much they mean to you, then it starts getting easier. And you'll find that your relationships in all capacities improve greatly. So don't be afraid to tell the people that you care about how you care about them. And for that matter, tell them why they matter. Hang on one sec. Lennox, sorry, my dog's a bit of a dick. So he'll bark and go crazy, but... Lennox, come on. Cut it out. Cut it out. Okay. And furthermore, tell them why they matter. It's not good enough just to say, hey, I really like you. Even though that's pretty cool. it's also really great to say, you know what? You really make me laugh. And that's really great. I really like that. How great would that be to hear? Holy shit. Like, yeah. Yes, I do make you laugh. Awesome. Just gonna brush that up. I'm pretty great. Thank you very much. So, yeah. Tell them why they make you feel good. And that's a surefire way to have better relationships. Okay, next thing is I think that everybody absolutely must leave the United States at some point in their lives. I know it's not easy. I understand that people have to make money, and I'm not suggesting to go to Singapore, which is really expensive. I'm saying even if it's to Hawaii, or you have a chance to go, if there's even a sliver of a chance that you may win that contest, or you know, or anything, or save up, you know, or just really get out. It's so important, because you spend all of your time in one place thinking that it's really great, and then you get somewhere else and you find out that where you were was not that great. At least that's how it was for me. I mean, there were a couple of times in Singapore where I found it really hard to be an American. I mean, it was really difficult to am I gonna say it was really difficult to be proud to be an American? No, I'm going to say there were some times when I felt I was acutely aware of America's downfalls. Things that I've really not experienced before. So, leave the country just to gain some perspective. Also, leaving the country gives you a better idea of what home is, or what you need to create a home somewhere. I realized I didn't need a whole lot. I just needed people that I respected and cared about, and very little clothing, and a couple of things to do to kind of be happy. You know, coloring and my guitar were enough. And Cartoon Network, okay, there was Cartoon Network. But even then, after a while, I turned that off too, because I just didn't need it. Oh man, I feel dumb saying Cartoon Network. Anyway, it happened, so there you go. But yeah, you get a better sense of what home really means and what you need in order to feel like you're at home. And that's important, because I think people get really stuck on their stuff and their neighborhood and their way of life, and they never really get out of it, and they never really know how to be free, how to really live, because they're so stuck in one spot, which is sad, right? Okay, the last thing I learned was to always leave a place better than when you found it. And I'm not just talking about clean up after yourself, although I am saying clean up after yourself. I'm saying don't leave the people that you were with in a state of confusion or anger or anything. Leave them with smiles. Leave them knowing how you feel about them. Leave them knowing that they matter and that you appreciate the time that you spent with them or in the space, and that you respect them or the space by leaving them feeling good and leaving the space in a condition that will be beneficial for the people coming after you. I mean, it's easy to do but hard to practice, and it should be, I think it's valuable. I think that's something that everybody should try to do. So yeah, so look at people in the eye when you're talking to them. Say thank you. Say thank you all the time, and tell people how you feel about them, and leave the country and leave it better than when you found it. So yeah, that's what I learned, and I'll probably look at this video and think I have to make another video because this one's not good enough. But maybe not. Maybe it'll work out, and I know I'll be just fine, and I'm going to get rid of all my stuff, and I'm going to get rid of all my stuff and I am going to make a couple phone calls and tell people how I feel and that I love them and that I'm thinking about them, and I'm going to always leave the place better than when I found it. So anyway, thank you for being on this journey with me, and thank you for the continued support and the likes and the, and the cheers and the texts and the phone calls and the everything. Just thank you for everything, and I hope that you all at least have gleaned something out of this, and if not, it's okay. I definitely don't want this to be like a I'm better than you and you should learn from me and I'm like all wise now, because that's not true. But this is the only way I really knew how to say thank you, and